This is for educational use only.
I group has permission for instructor Mr. Jordan Adinis to use this as educational material.
Good day everyone! Today, we will talk about the global economy.
Learning objectives are define economic globalization, identify the actors that facilitate economic globalization, articulate a stance on global economic integration, explain the role of international financial institutions in the creation of a global economy. And for the global economy, are the definition of global economy, the actors involved in economic globalization, the modern world system, the stance of global economic integration. For the market integration are the role of international financial institutions in the creation of a global economy, globalization of production, globalization of markets, the history, importance, and benefits of market integration and globalization, the attributes of global corporations, and for the global interstate system are identify the attributes of global corporations, explain the effects of globalization on governments, identify the institutions that govern international relations, differentiate internationalism from globalism, the effects of globalization on governments, internationalism and globalism, the institutions that govern international relations, and lastly, the Bretton Woods system.
First, what is global economy? The global economy refers to the interconnected economic system of all countries around the world. It includes the production, trade, investment, and financial transactions that happen across national borders. In simple terms, it is how countries are linked together through business, trade, and money. So let's give an example. A smartphone designed in the United States may be assembled in China using parts from South Korea and Japan and then sold in the Philippines. This shows how economies depend on each other. So because of globalization, no country is completely independent. What happens in one country, like a financial crisis, war, or pandemic, can affect other countries around the world. So now, let's talk about the definition of economic globalization. Economic globalization is the process by which national economies become more connected and integrated through trade, investment, capital flows, labor migration, and technology. It involves, first, free trade between countries, second, foreign direct investments, third, multinational corporations operating worldwide, and fourth, global financial systems. So, economic globalization makes goods cheaper and more accessible. However, it can also create challenges such as job competition, inequality, and economic dependency. So now, let's talk about the actors involved in economic globalization. There are several key actors involved in economic globalization. First is nation-states, governments. Governments create trade policies, agreements, and regulations that affect global trade. Second is international organizations. Organizations like the United Nations, World Trade Organization, and International Monetary Fund help manage global economic cooperation and stability. So the third one is multinational corporations or MNCs. These are companies that operate in many countries. They produce goods, provide services, and invest internationally. The fourth one is regional organizations. Groups like Association of Southeast The Asian nations promote economic cooperation among member countries. And the last one is financial institutions and banks. Global banks and investors move capital across countries, influencing markets and development. So overall, the global economy is a system where countries are economically connected through trade, finance, and investment. Economic globalization is the process that makes this connection stronger and more complex.
Hello, good day everyone. So I'm gonna discuss about the modern world system. It's a theory that developed by Immanuel Wallerstein. It explains how countries are connected through global economic in the system. The world is divided into three main groups, which core and semi-preparatory and preparatory in the countries. So, core countries are wealthy and industrialized. They control advanced technology and global trade. Examples include countries like the United States, Japan. Periphery countries are less developed. They provide raw materials and cheap labor. And semi-periphery countries are between. They are developing and trying to industrialize. In our understanding, the modern world system help us understand the globalization. Today, countries are connected through trade and multinational companies in technologies and financial system. For example, products are designed in core countries but manufactured in developing countries. This shows economic independence. The theory also explains the global inequality. The core countries often benefit more from trade, while periphery countries may remain dependent on exporting raw materials. Issue like poverty, labor, and migration and economic dependency are connected to this system. And overall, the modern world system is important in understanding how contemporary world works. It shows that no country is isolated. All nations part of one and global system, but they have different roles and levels of power.
Good day everyone. Today I will discuss the stance on global economic integration. It refers to the growing connection of countries through trade, investment, and technology, often guided by organizations like the World Trade Organizations. Supporters believe it promotes economic growth, creates jobs, and lower prices, and strengthens cooperation among nations. Countries benefit by specializing in what they produce, best and attracting foreign investments. However, critics argue that it increases inequality, harms small local business, and make countries vulnerable to global economic crisis. Overall, global economic integration offers many benefits but also changes. It should be managed properly to ensure fair and balanced development for all countries.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about market integration, the role of international financial institution in the creation of global economy. International financial institution, or the IMF, IFS, are multilateral organizations often established by multiple countries that provide financial, technical, and advisory support to promote economic development, poverty reductions, and global financial stability. Key institutions include the World Bank Group, International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, and regional development banks like the Asian Development Banks or the ADB, providing loans, grants, and expertise. So, key international financial institutions. First is the World Bank Group. It focuses only long-term economic development and poverty reduction, offering loans and grants to developing the countries. And second is the International Monetary Fund or the IMF. Provide short-term financing to members country to address balance payments and ensure global financial stability. So third is Regional Development Banks or the MDBs. Regional focus institution including the African Development Bank or the AFDB and Asian Development Bank or the ADB and European Bank for Reconstruction and Development or the ABRD and Inter-American Development Bank or the IDB.
Good day everyone. Today, I will explain the globalization of production and globalization of markets. Globalization is the process where countries and businesses become more connected through trade, technology, and communication. First, globalization of production means companies produce goods in different countries instead of only in one place. They do this to reduce costs, access raw materials, and use skilled workers. For example, a product may be designed in one country, made in another, and assembled somewhere else. This helps companies become more efficient and increase profits, while also providing jobs and economic growth to different countries. Second, globalization of market means companies can sell their products through customers around the world. Because of the internet, transportation, and modern technology, businesses can reach more customers globally. This also benefits consumers because they have more choices, better quality products, and sometimes lower prices. In conclusion, globalization of production helps companies produce goods efficiently, while globalization of markets help companies sell products worldwide. Both help businesses grow and strengthen the global economy. Thank you.
Good day everyone. So I'll be discussing of the history, importance, and benefits of market integration and globalization. So let's have first the historical background. Market integration began centuries ago through early trade routes like the Silk Road, where countries exchange goods, cultures, and ideas. However, modern integration accelerated after World War II with the creation of international economic institutions such as the World Trade Organization, which promotes fair trade and reduces barriers between nations. Regular alliance also strengthen integration, including the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the European Union, which allow member countries to trade more freely and cooperate economically. Next is the importance of market integration. First is connect economies. Countries become interdependent and support each other growth. Second is encourage specialization. Nations focus on products they produce efficiently. And the third is promotes peace and cooperation. Economic partnership reduce conflict. The last is strengthen global competitiveness. Countries improve standard to compete internationally. So move forward. Benefits of market integration: lower price for consumer due to competition and reduced tariff, greater product variety from international markets, more job opportunities as companies expand globally, access to technology and innovation shared across borders, economic growth through foreign investment and exports. Attributes of global corporation. Global corporation, also called multinational corporation or MNC, are companies that operate in multiple countries and manage production or services internationally. Key attributes. First is international presence. They operate in many countries with branches, factories, or office worldwide. Second is large-scale operation. They have massive production capacity, global supply chains, and large financial resources. The third is advanced technology use. Most global firms invest heavily in research, automation, and innovation. The fourth is standardized branding. They maintain consistent logos, marketing styles, and product quality worldwide, like McDonald's. Strong capital and investment power. They can invest billions in new markets, infrastructures, and research. And the last is global workforce. Employees come from different countries and cultures. So I have example of global corporation. First is Apple Incorporated, operates worldwide selling electronics and digital services. And second is Toyota Motor Corporation, manufactures vehicles in multiple continents. And the last is McDonald's, serves standardized food product globally.
Hello everyone, I'm gonna discuss about the effects of globalization on governments. Globalization reshapes how governments function rather than eliminating their power. It reduces national policies' independence, especially in economic areas like taxation, trade, and regulation, as governments must remain competitive in a global market. At the same time, it creates economic opportunities by encouraging trade, foreign investment, and technological growth, while also exposing states to global financial crisis and rising inequality. Globalization also shifts authority toward international and regional institutions, meaning governments increasingly share decision-making with global bodies. This places greater pressure on states to maintain effective governance, including transparency, political stability, and strong legal systems. Socially and politically, government must manage challenges such as migration, cultural change, and public resistance, which can fuel nationalism and populism if not addressed. Is internationalism and globalism. Internationalism supports cooperation between sovereign states. Countries work together through diplomacy, treaties, and organizations like the United Nations. While keeping national control, it aims to promote peace, stability, and collective solutions, but can be slow and weak due to voluntary compliance. For globalism, emphasizes deep global integration, especially in economics and governance. It reduces the importance of national borders and shifts power toward global institutions and multinational cooperation. While it can boost efficiency and growth, it is often criticized for weakening sovereignty and increasing inequality.
So today, I'm gonna tackle the institutions that govern international relations and Bretton Woods system. In today's globalized world, international relations are not managed by countries alone. Several international institutions play a major role in maintaining peace, regulating trade, stabilizing the global economy, and promoting cooperation among nations. These institutions create rules and systems that guide how countries interact with one another. So first is the United Nations. It was established in 1945 after World War II to prevent another global conflict. Its main goal is to promote international peace and security. The UN also protects human rights, provides humanitarian aid and disasters. It also supports sustainable development. It serves as a natural forum where countries are major issues such as climate change, poverty, war, and public health. So second is the World Trade Organization. They regulates international trade. It ensures that trade between countries flows smoothly and fairly. The World Trade creates rules, reduces tariffs and trade barriers, and settles between disputes. Countries avoid economic conflicts. The third is the International Monetary Fund. They focuses on global financial stability. It monitors the world economy and provides financial assistance to countries facing economic crisis. For example, if a country experiences severe inflation or currency collapse, the IMF can offer emergency loans and policies advised to help stabilize the economy. Similarly, the World Bank supports long-term economic development and poverty reduction. It funds infrastructure projects like roads, schools, and hospitals and provides technical assistance for economic reforms. While the IMF addresses short-term financial problems, the World Bank focuses on long-term growth. There are also regional organizations such as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which promote cooperation among neighboring countries in areas like trade, security, and political relations. So the Bretton Woods system. It was established in 1944 to rebuild the global economy after World War II. It created a fixed exchange rate system tied to the US dollar and led to the creation of the IMF and the World Bank. Although it ended in 1971, it laid the foundation for today's International Monetary Fund system.